Wondering when the skilled position guys were going to go? Wonder no more. The Atlanta Falcons take the first skill position off the board, going Drake London, wide receiver, USC at number 8 overall, who's the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. Big, a legit 6'4". It's a guy that does a lot of things well, checks a lot of boxes. Almost feels like a slightly less muscular Kyle Pitts, which they did last year in the draft. Let's get our guys in. Pete Prisco, I'm going to start with you. It's kind of been a love fest. I mean, this isn't a deep draft, but we've sort of said, we like this pick, we like this pick, we like this pick, we like this pick. 5 defensive guys go 1 through 5, and then 6 and 7 are offensive tackles. Now we're at 8. This is the first wide receiver off the board. You say what?
I don't love this pick. Look, Drake London's a good player, but I think Atlanta needed to get a speed receiver. They needed to get somebody who could be more vertical. Now, he can get down the field, win those 50-50 balls, and he was great with the 50-50 balls, but
he gets vertical.
You look, Kyle Pitts, same kind of player. They're, one's a tight end, one's a receiver, but they're the same big-bodied receiver, essentially. I would have gone a different direction. I would have taken Garrett Wilson here. I'm not saying London's going to be a bad player, and they need help at wide receiver, but I would have went with a different receiver in this spot.
Okay with it. I understand he might not be considered to be a blazer, but he gets behind guys. Look at Mike Evans for Tampa. He's not considered to be a blazer, but he's always behind defenders because he understands routes and he understands how to attack angles. So me personally, this is a big-time need for Atlanta. I mean, they may only have 2 wide receivers listed on the team
if
right
you have
now.
Kyle Pitts, and I mean, I guess we don't know what the status is of Calvin Ridley, right? I mean, and now you got Drake London. Seems like you got a pretty good wide receiver / tight end room. What else is good on that team right now?
Exactly.
Did you just pick a guy in a position where it was already sort of kind of a strength for you, Ryan?
Well, they don't have any receivers. They have no receivers.
It wasn't a strength.
But Kyle Pitts functions essentially as a wide receiver.
Well, now they
you
have
say
2.
no receivers. I know in fantasy football he's a tight end. I know something else up there. But you and I both know he is essentially a big wide receiver.
The thing about Atlanta, the issue for them, they have cap issues, so they can't go out and spend money on experienced wide receivers. And they lost one guy unexpectedly when Ridley got suspended. And they lost Russell Gage to their divisional foe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And they traded the franchise quarterback.
And yes, exactly. So they got to find a way to get pieces to help Marcus Mariota, the new quarterback, along with being able to put points on the scoreboard.
I guess my point is, if it's not about this coming year, like Ridley, we understand. But if this isn't about this coming year, we've said that with Atlanta. This is about down the road. Was this the best down-the-road pick for them, Pete?
Not for me, it wasn't. I go back. I would have taken Garrett Wilson. I think he's a better receiver. I might even taken Jamison. You talk about down the road, you take Jamison Williams then. He's going to be a better receiver than all of them. Well, you just got to wait for him.
Here's the thing. I was talking to Scott about him over the summer, and he said, you go watch Drake London, because I wasn't impressed with his tape from last year. And I went and watched him, and I was much more impressed. And I had a scout tell me he is a bigger version of Devontae Adams. And if that's what you're getting, this is a home run.
Scott
Pete
needs new eyes.
Well, when you start saying Devontae Adams,
but the one thing I like about Drake London, he's 6'3", 6'4" guy.
6'4".
He plays the X and he plays the slot. You don't usually see guys that size that can move in the inside and do a lot of damage.
Was he the number 1 receiver on your board?
Yes.
He was.
Yes. You got to look at it like this. When Amar St. Brown and those guys were there at SC, Drake London was the best one then.
Right.
Okay, but he's your guy. Okay.
Yes, he was the number 1. The only concern, he didn't run the 40.
Well, he came off.
He's a 4.55 guy. Yeah. That's how he plays.
And
he runs away from guys. Yeah. Also, B-Mac, he played on the USC basketball team. He has those skills. Yeah. Averaged 29 points and 12 rebounds as a senior in high school.
Good.
He can
play. The traveling Falcons basketball team were pretty good then this year.
They'll be crushing in the intramural leagues.
He averaged 11 receptions a game. That's
big time.
Pete is down.
Okay, he's a productive player, and now he's heading to Atlanta. Marcus Mariota, meet your new receiver, Drake London.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.